Hey guys, what's up? Hello everyone! Thank you so much for tuning in to my YouTube. If you don't know me, the name's Annie. My full name is Annabelle, but you can call me whatever. Who am I? That's actually a good question. I am someone who is figuring out her life. I'm 24 years old. I live in Denver, Colorado. I am from Michigan. I'm from here. Is this the right way? No, yeah, this is correct. So I'm from like here-ish, hour north of Detroit. I moved to Denver. Sorry, I'm gonna back up. I moved to Denver about a year ago, almost a year ago. I moved here September 1st, and I am just living my life. Today, I wanted to introduce myself. As you can see in the title of this YouTube video, I said it's time to stop making excuses, or some variant of that. I want to talk about this because this is just advice that I have to give myself all of the freaking time, because your girl struggles to get things rolling, get things on the road sometimes. I will have all these amazing ideas, and then I get overwhelmed, and then I don't make traction forward. So I guess one good thing to do today is to talk about, sorry, my bed's squeaky, how I got to where I am. Let's just start with that, and I'll try to stop touching my hair. It's kind of a terrible habit. So basically, I have come from a very limited mindset, and this wasn't necessarily something that was given to me by family or friends, although I may have been influenced when I was younger, but somewhere, especially when I was like 17 through 22, maybe even a little bit into 23, I just felt like a total imposter. I felt like I couldn't live my dreams. I went to college because I felt like that's what I had to do. So when I got a 4-year degree, I was kind of miserable, especially especially at first, but for most of college, because I didn't really choose a major that had anything to do with my passions. I didn't really choose anything that had to do with what I really wanted to do in life, and I was so limited in my mind, I couldn't even be honest with myself with what I really wanted to do in life. Therefore, I couldn't really hash that out because I wasn't even letting myself go there, right? So I was buying into the societal dream. I went to college, I did the things, I had the achievements, and I got my first professional job right out of college as a recruiter. That was somewhat within my degree, but not really, and I ended up hating my job. I really did, and I did stick it out for a good 7 to 8 months or so, just because I thought, well, maybe I need to give it more of a shot. Maybe every person out of college feels this way, but when it came down to it at the end of the day, it really wasn't adding to my life. And what was making me so miserable about it wasn't even that it was the job itself, although it was to a degree, but it was because the job was so not aligned with what I knew I was capable of. I got into self-growth about right around the time that I started my first professional job, and I would listen to like Rachel Hollis' podcast on the way to work. I know she's under a lot of controversy right now, so I don't really know how I feel about Rachel Hollis at the moment, but we're not going to dive into that. But I do credit her with getting me on the personal growth train, so for that I will always thank her. So I started listening to her podcast. She got me onto another podcast that I love, Straight Up by Trent Shelton. If my cat walks in, sorry guys, I have a little kitty who's 4 years old and she's named Maple. Anyways, so I started listening to self-development podcasts. I kind of pulled myself out of that mental rut eventually. I kind of took Rachel Hollis' advice, started writing down my dreams, and also just trying to delve into the world of personal development as much as I could. Started reading books, listening to more podcasts, and really just working on myself, finding out where my weaknesses are and what I wanted in the future. I started saving up money to move to Colorado. A lot of people say, why Colorado? And I'm like, I don't really know, but everything worked out for me. I visited Colorado right after I graduated college in 2019. It was the first place I'd driven all by myself. I did the 21 whatever drive in 2 days, and I loved it here. And it was so different from what I was used to, and I always wanted to move. So I saved up money in that job, and I sent it. I looked for apartments with my friend Anna last July, right after I quit my job. I signed a lease for a place I couldn't even afford at the time, with no roommate. I was looking for a roommate for a very long time. And somehow, guys, everything worked out. Now, if you would have told me like 3 years ago that I was gonna do all this, like pack up myself, move across the country, not knowing anyone, I would have been like, sure. Because I was in such a limited place, right? I was such a different person at the time. It really took me not even knowing how everything was gonna turn out, but just trusting that it was gonna turn out okay. This relates to not making excuses. I had like a huge car repair before my trip here, and it cleared my savings. Like, yikes. So did the deposit and paying 2 months rent or so by myself because I didn't have a roommate. Also cleared my savings and all the normal costs of moving. And I moved in my tiny little car, so I didn't bring very much besides like my clothing, my cat, and a few other things. I had to buy all new furniture during a furniture shortage during the pandemic when I got here. So some furniture was more expensive than I would have wanted to buy. I did try IKEA, guys. I was very upset. They're out of most of what I wanted, but everything worked out, you know? So yeah, I just had to move on with faith and understanding that even if you make a YouTube video and your first one's bad, or your first 10 are bad, or your first 40 are bad, you really just have to do it. The hardest part for me is always just getting myself to the precipice, right? Like pushing myself over and just doing the thing. It's so hard for me. For months now, I've been saying, oh, I need a professional YouTube camera, or I don't know how to make an intro or a thumbnail, blah, 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 blah. I'm busy. But you can always make time for what you love. And I've been saying for a long time now that I want to make a YouTube video. So even though I don't necessarily know the exact direction of this channel or what I want to be sharing with you guys, I know I have a spark in me, and I feel really proud of myself because I'm finally brave enough to share it even without knowing where it's gonna go. So that's pretty much everything for today. I'll link my socials, my podcast in the bio. I was like, on podcast you say show notes, on YouTube you say bio. And I'll get to know you some more. I'm gonna do health and fitness content as I go about that journey, some shuffling, because I'm a shuffler. If you know what it is, you know what it is. I'm also gonna be doing lifestyle vlogging, travel vlogging. I'm a little bit of everything, personal development, and I'm excited to get I'm excited to get to know you guys, and thank you so much for watching today. I will talk to you next time. Bye!